Hello brothers and sisters, meet again on channel AHONG Simulator. The tension, tragedy and other things that happened around World War II are potential material to be made into a game. As a result, there are many light World War games with the theme of one of the greatest wars in the history of mankind. However, massive firefights, a large number of soldiers and intense action make games of this type usually have a heavy size. But don't worry, there are still some light and still very interesting World War II games to play in 2022. If you're looking for it, here are our recommendations for the 10 best light World War games 2022 for low-spec PC versions of AHONG Simulator. Well, when it comes to games with the theme of World War II, the Call of Duty franchise is always included in the discussion. One of the lightest of this famous franchise is the World at War series, which was released in 2008. The title pinned for this series, namely, World in War, is very appropriate in representing the entire contents of the game. The reason is, this game presents the feel of a world that was destroyed by war very well. The combination of an interesting storyline, gameplay and visual presentation that is both very good at its time makes this game still one of the WW2 games that must be played. Even though other Call of Duty series have appeared, these titles are still special and imprint on the minds of fans. Then there is Company of Heroes 2, which is present as a war game with a real-time strategy approach. This sequel has many improvements over its predecessor. The movement of the troops was much faster, the scale of the troops was also larger, and the intensity of the battle was quite high. This game brings together the three main countries of World War II, namely Germany, the United States, and the Soviet Union. All three are presented with a variety of the best combat equipment used in one of the great wars throughout history. Although it has been released for quite a while, this game is quite memorable for RTS war game lovers. The game community that stays alive is also the reason to play this game that was released in 2013. Medal of Honor. This FPS game made by EA involves the famous director, Steven Spielberg, in working on the storyline. So do not be surprised if this game can provide a cinematic atmosphere to the players. You will play as Boyd Travers, a paratrooper from the US 82nd Airborne Forces. As a result, before the shootout, you will feel the experience of parachuting into the battlefield during World War II. The single-player mode of Medal of Honor is the most interesting, as it presents a challenging and non-linear gameplay. There are three different war backgrounds that become the background of the game, namely the wars in Italy, France, and Germany. The main mission is the same, namely defeating the Nazi troops from 1943 until the end of World War II in 1945. World of Warships. This free-to-play game is set in the First and Second World Wars. As a warship-themed game, this game provides various types of ships from a number of countries. There are two war modes, namely the co-op battle mode where you fight with other players against the AI, and the random battle mode, which will allow you to play against other players online. The battle will start with a certain distance between your team and the enemy. Here you can determine the strategy, whether to attack aggressively or play patiently by hiding behind an existing island or other strategies. Next, back to the FPS shooter genre, Red Orchestra 2, Heroes of Stalingrad. This game presents the experience of the German war against Russia in World War II. The gameplay is realistic, the use of weapons is made like real. Conditions such as unstable weapons when you press the trigger for too long and gravity which affects accuracy will be felt in this game. A more real impression is also conveyed through the absence of a health indicator and the number of bullets in the weapon's magazine. You are required to measure the number of bullets by the weight of the magazine. When it's heavy, it means there are still a lot of bullets and vice versa. Just like on a real battlefield, you can hide behind all the objects. The probability of a bullet penetrating is also influenced by the material, size and composition of the object you are hiding. So you will be safer hiding in a concrete block than a wooden chair. This game is highly recommended if you are looking for a realistic World War II game. This game is indeed an old game, because it was first released in 2010. But that doesn't mean it's not relevant to play it now thanks to the updates provided. This game, which can be considered a pioneer of the tank-based MMO genre, is still present because of its unique, challenging, and quite different updates from other similar games. This game features hundreds of types of tanks from the beginning of World War II to the modern era from various tank-making countries. The tanks are divided into several classes, ranging from light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers, and also artillery tanks. Although not too heavy, the graphic presentation is also very well presented. Once again, this game remains relevant and fun to play today, especially considering that the community of this game is still quite solid. Next, there is a game called Steel Division, Normandy 44. This game adapts the 1944 Allied attack on France. This game is of the real-time strategy genre. Efforts to liberate other Western European countries from the grip of Germany were also packaged in an intense game filled with fierce battles between the Allied and German troops. To reinforce the World War II theme that it brings, this game presents 490 vehicles that are made based on its history. Vehicles adapted from 3 countries involved in the battle in Normandy, US, UK and Germany, consist of various types, from infantry, recon, armored, artillery, and aircraft troops. Not to mention when discussing the map, all the maps in Steel Division Normandy 44 are the results of authentic RAF, Royal Air Force, photography during recon in Normandy in 1944. The game titled Sniper Elite will indeed be familiar to wargame lovers, including this V2 series. This is because the third-person shooter game, which focuses on the struggle of a sniper in World War II, received a fairly positive response. As a result, this game is so attached to the hearts of gamers and was made a remastered version in 2019. Even though it is relatively light, this game provides only detailed visualizations and cinematic effects in each action so that it will multiply the fun of playing you. For example, when you manage to target a vital spot correctly, you will get Mortal Kombat's X-ray mode style effect, where you will see how your bullets destroy every part of the target's body, which is displayed in slow motion. For an even more exciting experience, Sniper Elite V2 offers options to make your experience as a sniper feel even more realistic, where small elements such as wind will affect the accuracy of the shot. But if that's not what you're looking for, you can also choose the normal difficulty option, where you can hit the target with just a few shots and triggers. Next is Wolfenstein, titled The Old Blood. When compared to other World War games, this game actually has a pretty unique plot, because it does not raise the events or atmosphere of the Second World War, but tells a wild imagination about the war. This game tells the story in 1946, where the Nazis are on the verge of a major victory from the Second World War. The Old Blood series itself is positioned as a prequel to the New Order series. Here the player will take on the role of B.J. Blazkowicz with FPS game theme. Quite different from other games on this list, this game is considered heavier thanks to the visual quality that is more detailed. Men of War. Assault Squad. This game takes the theme of real-time strategy with the setting of the Second World War. This game actually does not have a strong storyline, because players have the task of mastering every area in the map with a fairly wide size. Although this game is arguably less popular than other major World War games, this game is actually quite interesting.